Gotcha. And who is this Dorsey guy? What does he do in terms of like his role within the Lions organization?
All right, so you remember um what is it? The Browns,
Hmm.
right? You remember the Browns team? They had a general manager named John Dorsey. Well,
Oh, I remember him. That's the dude who was making all the big splash signings
uh-huh.
for. He was one who
Yep.
signed Odell,
Yep.
Jarvis. I
Yep.
remember him, and they fired him.
They fired him. Well, the Lions picked him up, and he's the senior personnel executive. And so basically what the Lions have figured out is they figured out that I need to have a comparable backup to the starter, right? And so every person has it. So, like, for example, yeah, you got Brad Holmes, but John Dorsey is the guy who he leans on. And if you watch many of the In the Den videos, you see John Dorsey telling him to calm down, let it come to you. It's gonna happen. And you see Brad Holmes over there like, oh, he antsy. I get it, right? But when you go through and you look at the whole entire team, when they brought in Dan Campbell, they brought in two other coaches that could have been a head coach over him with Anthony Lynn. Then they moved on from Anthony Lynn and they made Deuce the backup, who could have then been a coach if they needed him to go. Then Deuce left, right? They brought in another guy to be the assistant coach, Montgomery, the running backs coach. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you had Don Capers, who was the competent backup and support to Aaron Glenn. And so, now he's gone. What they do, they go out and get John Fox to assist. So they're keeping the talent within the organization there. But a lot of the stuff that's happening, I believe, is closely related to John Dorsey basically being there as a mentor of such or a coach of himself to what's happening. And so that's why I said it depends on what happens when John Dorsey leaves. That's why, I pointed that out.
And do you think that John Dorsey is going to end up getting another general manager job with, the role that he's played?
Yeah, absolutely. Because at that point, you're going to have to bump him up in pay and in position, which again, his position is pretty up there, but you're going to have to bump him up to keep him. Otherwise, he'd just take another GM job somewhere and keep it pushing. Everybody, listen, there's going to be some teams this year who are going to be like, we done with this coach. We done with that coach. I need a new general manager. And he's going to be on the list.
Absolutely. So, I believe I remember John Dorsey now. I remember that name. You kept saying Dorsey. I was about to ask, like, what's his full name? And then you said, I was like, I remember him. I do remember him. And he did a very good job at acquiring talent in free agency. His drafts were pretty good too. Like, it makes sense now. And it kind of reminds me, like, you remember, I don't know if you remember, but back in, was it the 2013, 2014 draft when Blake Bortles and Johnny Manziel and Teddy, I think it was 2014, wasn't it?
2014, what are you talking about with Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah, and Johnny Manziel. I can't remember what draft it was, but I remember Jerry Jones wanted Johnny Manziel. And his son said, "No, don't you take Johnny Manziel. You better take Zach Martin." And they pretty much took Zach Martin due to the help of Jerry Jones getting a little bit of advice from his sons and stuff like that. So John Dorsey kind of has that role. He's kind of like an advisor to Brad Holmes in a sense.
And not to mention, if you look at the resume of John Dorsey and what he's done, he also helped that in 2020, he was like a front office consultant to the Eagles. Right. And then before that, he was the general manager of Kansas City from 2013 to 2017. Right. I'm sorry. Before the Eagles, he's the general manager of the Cleveland Browns from 2017 to 2019, and then he was with Kansas City 2013 to 2017. So Kansas City, Cleveland, Philly, and now Detroit. It's a pattern where this man is gone. It's almost like the Bill Belichick thing, where not Bill, but Bill Parcells. You know how Bill Parcells would be brought in to rebuild teams? This guy, everywhere he's gone, he has acquired talent. He has 100% acquired talent everywhere he went. When he was with Kansas City and became the general manager of Kansas City, you know the first thing he went out and did? Hire Andy Reid. Just think about this. These are moves that you just can't make up. When you look at the moves he added in terms of free agency, he was very instrumental in bringing in Derek Johnson and Jamal Charles and Jeremy Maclin and some of these. Like, just look at his history.
And then you
right?
talk about the decision to trade up for Patrick Mahomes.
Man, listen, bro. Again, I'm not saying Brad Holmes don't do nothing. I'm just saying he has somebody that he can lean on, a very good mentor.
It seems like you guys got the wrong guy in the general manager position.
No. I want him where he's at, because I want him to be able to have a approach to it that allows him to say, you know what, I like what you see here, but if you don't feel really good about this, don't make this move. And he's grooming them, and him being in that room also allows other people to see how he does business and how he evaluates and stuff. So I like the teacher position of it, because it allows for other people to see it. In my opinion, the guy that I think is in training to learn how to do this job, if Brad Holmes don't work out, is already on the team, and I think that's Chris Spielman. I think Chris Spielman is picking the brain and learning everything he can from John Dorsey.
You want to know something crazy? I was just about to say, if John Dorsey gets a GM job, maybe Rick Spielman could potentially end up filling that role, because Rick Spielman had a really good run as the GM for the Minnesota Vikings. I actually want to get him on the pod soon.
Yeah, but they got his brother here already. And so you get a chance to learn from your brother where he learned. You get a chance to learn from John Dorsey as well. I'm just making the points that the Lions are going to be in a position where they can truly do some things. And to me, the expectations are going up. And so at that point, we have to see how they respond to higher expectations. Because when they go up for the team, they go up for every player on the team. Now, in my opinion, based on what James Houston did, he would 100% have earned a starting spot, in my opinion. In fact, they've gotten people like Romeo Ochoa to take a pay cut. Great, right? Which is usually another word for we give you most of that money up front, and then you're going to get a reduced amount over that time. Cool, right? But James Houston would be my starter, because for a guy to come in and do what he did, I had a lot of people mad last year when I said he's the best pass rusher on his team. Oh, no, he isn't. Okay. Man, Aiden Hutchinson is. Man, listen, sir. This is just not the truth. Okay, we can try this if you want, but no, this is not it. So again, you have to look at everything in a big picture vacuum, right? If the Lions' expectation per Vegas say that we should be winning the division, the fans should probably look at that and go, "Do we have enough to win the division? Did we do enough to win the division?" Because the biggest problem that you came into the season with was what? Defense. And have the Lions done enough to address those needs? We're going to find out when the draft comes. And then we're going to find out after the draft comes, when they hit that second to third wave of free agents. We're going to find out when they make some trades. Because to me, if I'm the Lions, if it's me, I'm calling up Arizona and being like, after the draft is over, and being like, hey, you got David Collins. You got, what do you want for Isaiah Simmons? Hey, I tell you what, we're gonna right or wrong. I'll send you a Okudah, you send me Isaiah Simmons, and I give you a pick.
Oh, don't do Arizona like that. Even though Okudah would, I don't know, man. You know how we are about Okudah.
I told people if Okudah plays safety, he'll be phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So
me and you both been saying that for how many years? He's a safety.
I got cussed out for it.
Man, we both did. both did. It's like we both did.